distancing. But I'm so excited to bring you to the first ever episode, if you may call it, or the first ever live edition of Chai Time in Quarantine, hosted by Pentagon Events and Activations. I'm going to be your Chai Time host, so I've got my tea with me right here. And first of all, of course, I'd like to welcome all of you onto this broadcast. How is everybody doing at home? Are you guys feeling okay? It's been, I think, a week now that we've been at home consuming content, Netflix, and chilling. And if one of us asks for, a bit of a holiday a couple of weeks ago, right now you're rethinking, or as they say, you should be careful what you wish for, because now we've all got it. And I also heard that 1/4 of the world at this point is under lockdown, which is kind of overwhelming. I can understand, but we want to make sure that you guys have a meaningful time which is spending at home. So if you're watching with your friends or your family, remember you can actually chat with me right here on the side. So try and leave your comments for me so that I can also have a sort of give and take with all of you. I have a fabulous lineup of guests today. We've got some great guests coming up, starting with a girl who I know and I love, and I'm going to introduce her in just a little bit. That happens at 4 o'clock, so just wait up for that. What happens at 4:30? I have a psychic reader and also an author. Her name is Tamanna, and Tamanna comes up at 4:30. We've also got very, very special Bachi Karkaria, and she's a legend, a doyen when it comes to Indian journalism. So I do hope that you'll stay on for that as well. We've also got another friend of mine. She's going to be taking over the hosting duties from me. It's like a host relay, and her name is Sucharita. She runs not a movie review on the internet, and she deals with trolls like that. So you got to go and say hi to her as well. She comes on at about 5 p.m. this evening. So please make sure that you guys stick with us. Like, I know you're going to probably go make your chai. You're probably going to make your evening dinner, but we're going to keep you company all the way, at least until 7:30 p.m. So please make sure that you're going to be here with us. It's been 2 weeks, as I've been saying, of us being in quarantine. It can be tough, but please watch your mental health. A couple of things that I do is definitely I maintain my routine. Okay, so I wake up in the morning, I make myself my tea, I make myself my breakfast, and I make myself my lunch, because I want to get done with all of that before I go live on the radio. Once I go live on the radio, my show is on until 11 a.m. So then I try and cook before that as much as I can, or at least I prep. And then at about 11, I get done with my radio show, which is broadcasting live from my home these days. If you're in Mumbai, then it's Radio Nasha. That's where I am on between 7 and 11 in the mornings. And then after that, of course, I have a shower. So first of all, yes, I don't shower for my radio show these days, which is damn funny. But these are the small things that we can do for ourselves. Then I get into my meal prep again. I finish my prep by from 11 to 11:30, do some chores, do some charu pocha, because of course, I'm sure you guys have seen Katrina Kaif doing the dishes, and how amazing was that? A lot of people have been very critical about that video, saying, oh, why is she doing this, blah, blah. I think it's actually very real, and it's very refreshing that she did that. Also, watching Katrina Kaif do dishes, pretty cool. What do you guys say? Leave your comments on the side if you want me to, know your thoughts and feelings about this as well. But now let me, of course, introduce you to one of my, good friends. She and I are a movie festival bumping into each other. Like, we're the movie festival buddies, especially Mumbai's film festival that we have, which is the Mami. She's a regular on it because of her fabulous choice of cinema. I remember watching her in some of my favorite films. If it's Margarita with a Straw, and I remember she was in a film called Parched. She was also in a film called The Hungry, which was absolutely crazy. She was in Jaga Jasoos, Jab Harry Met Sejal. She was in Fan, and most recently she was in Article 15, and she's fantastic. But she's also got a fabulous web show that she's on, and it's called Four More Shots, Please. And if you know already, who I'm talking about, you can leave your comments right here on the side. Her name is Sayani Gupta, and I know it's spelled Sayani. And then there's a Gupta. So the Gupta is easy, but I'm going to ask her why she calls herself Shayoni, and it's definitely a Bengali connection, I'm sure. So if you guys are with us, and she's going to be joining us very, very soon. In the meantime, I do hope that you guys are also making time for exercise. I'm going to go back to tell you my daily routine. In the afternoon, I actually Netflix and chill. This is my living room. I've got a television right here. I watch something that I haven't watched in years. I have a huge wish list of about 25 to 30 films and shows, which I've actually put down, and I'm striking it out. Then in the evening at about 5 o'clock, I actually go on for a little walk in my building because I'm not allowed to leave my building, right? I'm also not allowed to leave the premises. So I can either go up and down the stairs to the terrace so that I don't feel like I'm confined inside the house. We've stopped deliveries and we've stopped, our helpers from coming home. So that's basically how I'm managing. I come back and I do my meal prep for dinner and then I have my dinner. And then after that, I see there's some news to catch up on. I don't look at news, honestly, until I really have to, and it's published. Hello,
Hi.
¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? I'm trying to I don't know, I'm totally
I'm
going.
good. Can you see me though?
I
Can
can't
you
see you
see
now.
me?
I can see you. It's a bit pixelated, but I can see you.
Oh, why is it pixelated?
Not too bad right now.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
guys. Welcome our first guest, Sayani Gupta. Welcome.
Thank you, Rohini. How are you? You look very nice, I must say.
Thank you for someone who's not gone to the parlor in a couple of weeks and her hair's grown out like crazy and there's no treatment that I can do at home. Oh my god, I can't even tell you how badly I need someone to do my hair. But I guess we're all managing.
Yeah. See, I anyway have like thankfully very manageable hair, so I've straight hair. So thank God for small mercies, And I anyway don't do my eyebrows. Like yesterday I was doing a live with Janice and I was telling her that I have no such problem because I anyway don't do anything. So
That is so lucky because I often wonder like how actors are dealing with stuff like this because normally before you come on a live like this, I know you would usually have a battalion because this is also promotions time, especially because the next season of Four More Shots Please is coming out. Woo!
no, so I honestly all I do is put a little bit of my hack I'll tell you, put a little bit of balm, like a highlighter balm or a strobe, little bit there, and a lipstick. That's all I do, and I think that's a very. I mean, thankfully, it's been okay. But and also I think it's nice because when we are doing it from home, especially people like us, because people are used to seeing us generally on screen with makeup, etc. And I think it's always nice, and I love people seeing people without makeup and without a lot of hair and makeup. Especially actors because I just think that it's much more relatable and yeah, and you don't need to do too much. I don't care honestly.
Says you don't need to do too much, okay? So I'm just going to sit back and ask you a couple of questions. First of all,
Thanks.
thank you so much for joining us. It means a lot because I know that as entertainers and actors, we put ourselves to kind of go out there and speak to people. Because I know a lot of people are dealing with cabin fever. And
Rohini, sorry to cut you, but your voice is not clear.
oh, is it clear now?
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah. Better.
Come closer to the screen, that's all. And I was trying to avoid my face like becoming a rasgulla on the screen, but it is now, so we'll deal with it. All right,
No, are you mad? Look at your cheekbones. Listen, I'm going to do something. 1 second. I don't know why it's pixelated. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure.
nice now.
Uh,
Perfect now. It's clear.
is it clear now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay,
So
okay. Fine.
I was saying that a lot of our, audience, people who cannot work from home are suddenly experiencing a lot of cabin fever. Let me ask you, are you experiencing cabin fever at this moment or are you happy to be a homebody?
I am actually very, very pleased, and I'm actually having a great time by myself. Also, I've realized, a blessing in disguise is that I like spending time with myself alone, and I've also traveled a lot alone. So I'm used to, and I don't freak out or I don't get bored because I really like my own company, and which thankfully now is coming really handy.
Wow.
And yeah, and I've actually tried to utilize this time to do stuff that I've not had the time to do, Yaroini, because for a long time I've been wanting to do a regular riyaz, sing more regularly, do body work and voice work, because also as actors, I think we tend to become very lazy. We need to do stuff that we don't do otherwise. I've been painting a lot. Where I kept it here. So I've been painting almost every day. I've been working out every day, obviously cooking.
Oh,
So
that's beautiful.
yeah, so I've been really, I also feel that, this is a great time to be self-sufficient and do things by yourself, and the confidence also you will have after this, right? Because yesterday I saw you making parathas, okay? Now, I've known you for a while, but I couldn't think that you would make these like perfect looking parathas. So
I know that I
clearly you're a pro.
Yes, it's challenging us in different ways to discover. Because I read something very sweet by somebody that says, if you can't go outside, go inside. And when it says inside, it means go within yourself and try and ask yourself, what are the things that you can do? Like, I am finding out my talent. For example, just trying to, make a new thing every day. Like, cook for myself, but, please, like, just, surprise myself with things that I've never cooked before. So that's in itself is a full daytime job. But
Yeah.
there are tasks that I must say I've learned about myself that I don't like, which is very interesting as well. Like, for example, I am joining a million other Indian people at this point when I say I hate bartan. I hate doing bartan. I don't know what your feelings are. Do you have extreme feelings for bartan?
No, so I am not a big fan of majoing. And growing up, because I've always been a dancer, right? And I used to do Bharatanatyam. So my mother used to tell me, do not do bartan or any like pani ke saath zyada cheeze mat karo. Although she would make me do other dry things in the house, other chores, because हाथ खराब हो जाएंगे मुद्रा जब मुद्रा करोगी तब अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. And so she would never let me. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, these Bharatanatyam dancing girls, man.
so but I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't mind it also. What really gets me, and I love doing jharu, okay? Because even in FTI, I love doing jharu. In FTII,
Fine for me. Sayani Gupta loves doing.
I am obsessed with jharu, okay? So, in back in film school, we would be given improvisations to do, right? So you have to choose what business you want to do during that improvisation. I would always get one jharu and start doing jharu, okay? My
Oh,
classmates, what's wrong with you? How can you get a jharu in every improv in every situation? So I
well,
love doing jharu.
I know
Yeah,
one
but
thing. Your
huh,
house is clean, clean.
it's sparkling clean. I'm telling you everything. Like my plants, I will show you everything. Like there is not a like even, and my flooring is white, right? So if I see one strand of hair or one little thing, black thing, and I also have OCD, okay? So the
Clearly.
pocha, I take entire an hour or more than that to do pocha from corner to corner of my house. That's why I was feeling all day in the morning. That's what I did.
I'm
Hence
really,
the glow in my face because I was sweating.
I'm really missing you because if I had to choose a quarantine buddy, it would totally be you. So
Absolutely.
you, I would cook and you would clean, and this is like the match made in heaven. This
Perfect, perfect. And I'll sing for you also, Rohini.
You can sing for me. My God, I have a jharu and you can sing. I think this is amazing. Also the other thing is we're taking these things, so nicely, and we're all kind of house proud about these things, which I think is really nice because, like for example, and I must talk about this. Katrina Kaif put up a video of her doing bartan, and a lot of people criticized it, saying that bartan karna hai to kar lena, video क्यों बना रही है? And I said, no, it takes a lot for stars, okay, even like yourself at this point on my life, to be admitting to doing things that would make us a little unstar. And I think that being real is not something that the industry would allow you, even like 10 years ago. And it's so refreshing. So thank you so much for being open and thank you for being real about it. You and Katrina Kaif, both of you.
No, but with Katrina's video, Roho, I actually felt I mean, I love watching her doing jharu and bartan, because also it's Katrina Kaif. She has an aura about herself which is very like princess like, and like very dainty, and she must not do anything, like that's the image, right? Now,
Correct.
obviously I've worked with her. I know she's a very, very cool girl, but to for the audience to see these huge stars or icons do like regular jobs, I think it's quite nice, and it's relatable again. And I think it actually makes you feel that there is no difference, right? Because there is no way that my life is any different than yours, and I think it's a great leveler. This coronavirus has come as a great leveler because you can get it irrespective of what your strata, what class, what kind of house or car you drive. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor. Where you live, it makes no difference. And this quarantining life and self isolation has also put us in a place where we all have to wash our bathrooms.
Oh my
So,
God, I haven't gone there yet. I have not watched
oh,
in a week.
that's the one thing I don't like, yeah.
But I'm gonna go there now that you told me, it reminded me about it. I must go and do that. It
Yeah.
course, how does it feel to, drop your season 2 of a really successful franchise? For girls, shots, please. I'll tell you honestly, when it first dropped, I was like, I had my reservations because I said, "Oh my God, like, is it really going to be like girls that I can relate to?" And then once I got in, it was great because of course, I really enjoyed the thing, but I also felt that the women were so well written. I also felt that the struggles were all real. I also liked the way you guys played it. You're of course one of our, one of the best actors that we have. What made you want to say yes to this franchise? Because even you might have had the same sort of, preconceived notions about will this land right?
Okay, so I'll tell you what really convinced me about the show, okay? Because here was a show that a bunch of women were trying to make, and make a show that represented women with agency, uh, and urban women, women from obviously a specific class, but women who had complete control and agency over their lives, and truly represented them, in a real way, and broke all kinds of stereotypes, and a bunch of women were trying to make it. And when I read the script, I absolutely loved Damini. I thought she was such a powerhouse, and she's really spunky and quirky, and she's crazy also, and she's really complex, and as an actor, you're always looking at complex parts to play because that's more fun, honestly. And also the fact that she had OCD. I was very excited about her OCD because I know people, I mean, my mother, my aunts, they all have major OCD, okay? And so I have a little bit like borderline OCD. So I really understand, or I have like a fresh perspective. I've studied people with OCD. So I had a like, I was having getting a kick out of it. And honestly, I really feel that there is such a huge dearth of representation of women in the mainstream, because it's always men trying to write women characters with such less and shallow understanding of women. Very, very few writers and directors have truly been able to portray women as they are. Otherwise the typical way of looking at women is putting them into boxes. Either you have the virginal good girl who only listens to her parents or her father or her husband, or you have the vamp who's trying to wreck other people's houses. And also, when you think of women, how many times have you seen real women with their difficulties and issues and concerns, and true representation of that? Because again, when you talk about romance or sex, women are always, I feel, almost like a passive participant. you
Yes.
know it's always the hero who's wooing the heroine. The hero is doing the romance. It's almost like it's a very thin line, but I think it's a matter of gaze, which is my favorite word.
Yeah.
And really, I felt that this was something that would push the envelope slightly and normalize sexuality, normalize control and agency for women, all of that. So I mean, there was no reason for me to not say no. And I knew that, because it was a bunch of women trying to make it, the gaze would be correct. It would be, sensitively done. It wouldn't be made into a titillating show or a sensational show. So things like that. I mean, a lot of things happened, a lot of things didn't happen because, when you're making a film, you set out to do certain things, but a lot of times it's not 100% executed. I mean, and the show has flaws, definitely. But I also feel that because the show in the second season, we are able to rectify certain things that, we found problematic, or, the critiques that had come. So I think the second season is actually much, much better. It's bigger. It's much deeper. The interpersonal relationships, the friendships are much more real. So yeah, I'm quite excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I really love your chemistry with two men. Let's not forget. The first man is a man that all of India has fantasized about, men and women, and I'm talking about Milan. All right, the fact that he's a gynecologist, like just I'm like, I want to get my own GYN Milan so much. So of course Pratik, but let's talk about Milan Soman. I've had the chance to interact with him, interview him many times, and he's how do I say? He's quite tough because he is such a, how do I say? He's full of nakras of his own, and his whole life is about himself, and I love it, and I love it. He's actually he compete. I think he gives me a run for my money when I would say I'm involved with my own self because honestly cracking Milan Soman. Like I sometimes think he has a like a what is that thing? Because
What is that?
he's
What?
I think ADHD because he's always talking to himself, and it's so
Yeah.
tough to get his attention. Tell us a little bit about Milan Soman as a person that as you experienced it while you shot.
So Milind, I have always had a big crush on growing up. Uh, and honestly, when they told me Milind Soman is playing Dr. Varsi, I was like, oh my God, okay. And it's strange because you've really liked somebody all your life, and it's almost like, and he's Milind Soman, like the entire, as you said, the entire country has a crush on him. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But when I met him, it was very funny because I think he was late to the reading, and I think we caught him lying or something. Okay, he was late, but he was like, "Oh, I couldn't find whatever." And the first thing he ever, so we started shooting, and our first day of shoot, Rohini, you won't believe, it's all the HODs are women. Most of the people on set are women, and
Yeah,
everyone from Neha, the DOP, to the director, to the producers, to everyone on set had dressed up that day. Milind Soman's first day of shoot. Everyone, people are wearing danglers and like hairbands, and I'm like, what's going on, girls? It was really, and then Milind came, and we had a very, very cramped up schedule that day. We were shooting in Indigo in town, and we
yeah,
had to get out before 11 a.m. and we had to get three scenes done by then. Okay, three scenes before 11 a.m. And there was a lot of, so before Milind came, everyone was like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we have to work. Milind comes, and in one corner, for half an hour, all the women are surrounding him and giggling like 16-year-olds. Okay? And I'm just standing there, like, can you please shoot? And they were like, yeah, 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 let's shoot. And everyone's, and later, I mean, we've made fun of each other so much, and I've made fun of them. They're like, no, no, of course, we were not behaving like that. And they'll completely deny it. But, they were really like that. Anyway, so Milind comes to me and he says, so, are you excited about working with me? And I was
he
like,
would say that. He would totally say that.
and I was like, 1 second. Who the fuck are you? What do you mean? But I understand. And my immediate reaction was like, lines pata hai? Chal lines karte hain. But later I've told him this, okay? He's like, हाँ, मैंने नहीं बोला होगा. And I was like, dude, you've no idea, okay? But he's a sweetheart. Like he has such a, he really has a, he has a golden heart. Like I really feel that, I mean, first of all, he has to be conceited, and I tell that to him in his face that, dude, you're really conceited. But it's true, like since you were
He's so funny. But it goes with him because
go to him. I I
Brazilian.
will. So I have a bunch of videos that I've taken of him. I'm gonna post that once the second season comes out. They are so funny. It's just Milind being Milind, okay? And I
I was hoping that we do this on my radio show, and you would have come to the radio station, and we would have
Yeah,
done the show. But
yeah.
top question on my list, how was it, working with Milind Soman on this? Because I know him as a person, and which is why I can ask you this, because I know exactly what you like. Which brings me to, when does the show drop on online on the OTT platform? Tell us.
It's on the 17th of April. I know a lot of people have been messaging, saying please prepone the release because this is the good time and all that. But it's not possible because there's so much work that needs to happen. Like I mean, there's a lot of work that goes on before the release. It's not like, everything is ready, etc., etc. So obviously they can't prepone it, but I'm very happy that, it's coming on the 17th, that because a lot of people are really waiting for it because the show really has a loyal fan base.
It does. It
Thank
does.
you, thank you.
And I
It's
just want
nice
to
and
I just want
sorry,
to say
tell
to people who are listening, it truly is a female, first show, and it's हमें आदत नहीं है to look at female narratives which are Indian, and that's the sad thing. So there are things that you might find shocking. Like I remember when the word vagina was used, and people were like, "Oh my God, does this mean like word?" And female, and I said to myself, Karen, because we've never first narrative.
sorry for your voice is completely going, huh? I can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So I said it is also because a lot of people haven't experienced a female first narrative, and it's important that it happens. So I'm gonna take a couple of questions now because the
I think Rohini, I can't your when you talk like this, I can hear you. The moment you go like that, I can't hear you.
okay, I'm gonna come closer to the screen. Is that better?
Yeah, this is perfect.
All
And
right.
you look beautiful, don't worry, you look stunning. Like those lips and those teeth, please, yeah, don't.
Okay, so Dipali Patel, is one of our viewers, and she wants to know, we will be binge watching your show, but what shows are you binge watching currently?
Can I be honest? Friends.
Oh, that is so sweet. I know Netflix has it. It's so exciting. To
Listen,
be
I am addicted. I am obsessed. Okay, so I have anyway been doing like 10, 11 interviews every day and some lives and some videos. I've been doing other stuff, so I'm exhausted by the end of the night, okay? And I make it a point to like, work out every day and all that. Even after that, my silver lining at the end of the day is
to
when
watch.
will I go back to my bed and switch on Friends? Like it's just, it's the greatest show ever made. Like and some episodes, I know exactly how Joey is gonna, what he's gonna say after this. But I still, it's still so funny and fresh. It's unbelievable.
Hey, listen, who's your favorite Friends character?
Phoebe.
I love it. Yeah, maybe actually rewatching Friends, I think that is her. What a fab character to be written in. So unbelievable, and yet she pulled it off way back there in the 90s, being crazy,
Yeah.
quirky, and cool at the same time, right?
She's cool, she's smart, and what an actor Lisa Kudrow is, man. Because to actually, and she's a very, very smart, like and I've like a lot of, I've read a lot about Lisa Kudrow because I've always been like, I always loved her. And she's a really smart, sophisticated, highly educated actor. Like she's really like a brainy person, okay,
Yeah.
and like she's very intellectual. But you see Phoebe, and I think only a really smart person could have played it so because there's such a finesse, it's such a impeccable, like it's flawless, that acting, it's her performance, and it's brilliant, like she's her timing, her and Joey's timings are like unbelievable. Yeah, I'm like, how do you guys do this? So after Phoebe, Joey, I think the stupid ones are my favorite.
I love it. I love it. No, absolutely. And I have such a soft spot for Chandler because Chandler is just one of my favorite people in the whole. I think just generally men. If they're like Chandler, then I like them. So that's a
Oh
big
yeah.
one. Yeah, like just goofy and totally
Yeah.
with it and not smooth and I also
Yeah.
think while we're talking about Friends, I think one of the greatest actors, and I don't think he gets enough credit, is Ross. Like he is such a good
Yeah.
actor. and I love it. I love it. So I really love the fact that we were not friends. We would have think about this. If we were, doing the regular life and we were taking your interview about formal shots of you in life, we would have talked about friends. So this is amazing. Awesome. Also, I have Sucharita who says hi because she's going to come on at 5 o'clock and do her live session.
Hi, Sucharita. She's a cutie.
Yeah, so she comes on in just a little bit. Before we go, of course, we've talked about, we've talked about Instagram, we've talked about your show that's dropping on the platform. We're also talking about like how we're proceeding, in our houses and what are the things we love to do. But let's talk about mental health. We've got about 5 minutes, and I would not leave a live without talking about this. Impact of being, you say you're very comfortable being by yourself. Not too many people might be. So, is there any word? Are there any comforting words that you want to leave people with, talking about how you can manage mental health or anxiety during a time like this? I know you're not an expert, but I'm sure that there is a commonality in experience that you can share at this point, and you could tell us something that you do to make it better for yourself.
I really feel that this is a good time for all of us to, introspect and self-evaluate and really think of the choices we've made for ourselves, how we live our lives and really breathe, because I think just to be able to feel that quiet place inside of us is so underrated. Because I think it's all within, everything that we need to know and all kinds of things that we need to feel are all inside of us. And this is a really good time to connect with yourself, and if you and I think meditating really helps. Also, working out. I think when you work out, it is, sometimes you feel too lazy, but it's a great release. Also eating healthy, not and having a routine, like looking forward to your day. Like I'm feeling great because I know right now, once I end this, I have like 3 4 interviews to do. I will paint, I will not sit idle. I will not just waste my time. I will utilize the time to do things, that maybe hone your skills, your interests, your hobbies. There's so much to do, talk, because again, those of you who I think the people who live with their families, or partners, or roommates, or it's a great time to sit, and what we are doing over live, actually sit on chai and play a game and chat and talk about your childhood, and share memories, something that I can't do because I mean I have nobody. But I think that's beautiful. And also I think we have to understand and realize that we are so privileged. Oh shit.
I get it. I get it.
Oh yeah, you're gone, but huh. So and I've been feeling very very disturbed these days because I also realize that there are so many people out there who don't have a roof over their heads and food to eat and the resource. I mean, we are still, we have a house, we have a roof over our heads, we have AC, fan, whatever, food in our refrigerator. People are walking from UP to one end of the state to the other end of the state. There's a lot of people who don't have the resources. Again, self isolation, quarantining, all of this is a very privileged concept. People, so many people, like thousands of people in our country, probably more, don't have the resource to self isolate. There are literally 10 people every 100 square feet. Where would you self isolate? Where would you go? I mean, there are huge families staying in one room. So I think, whoever's here, honestly, we are so fortunate. And I think it's so important to feel that gratefulness and gratitude, really, because it's time we remember all of this. Also, people who work in our homes, Rohini, we were talking about like doing your household work. Do we realize how much work our household helps and maids put in? It's serious work. And then, next time you probably haggle with them for 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees, or you should remember that, listen, it wasn't easy when you were doing it yourself. So I think those kind of things, I think we should really utilize this to make us a little better human beings, yeah. And it's not to sound philosophical or anything. And these are things that I have been telling myself, and hopefully I'll come out of this a better, a little more patient human being, and also talk about and constantly think about conservation and waste management, and not wasting water and electricity, and minimize individual waste, things like that, because also I feel this is universe's lesson to us to to restore itself and almost reboot itself, and telling humans that enough is enough, like pull up your socks and figure out your shit, man, because we really have gone beyond redemption as a race, so I think when it comes to mental health, I think it's totally up to you, and just feel positive, just be positive. Don't think about like nonsensical things, don't think about WhatsApp forwards. And like I've been telling my mother, because she's also feeling quite I think lonely, and after a certain age you feel certain things in certain ways, and I've been telling her, listen, like talk to me, and stop reading WhatsApp forwards, because it's going to.
Of course, the sign-off message from Shayoni to all our mothers and all our fathers कि WhatsApp यूनिवर्सिटी से बाहर निकलिए and WhatsApp बहुत बड़ा झूठ है. But Shayoni, I just want to say thank you so much for accepting our invitation to come live with us on Pentagon
Thank
here.
you.
And the first ever chai time has been me. And I'm so happy. I just want to leave my audience with one stellar tip, which is if you want to see Shiny in something that I think was one of his finest work, please watch her in Article 15, and it's also available on an OTT platform for you. So please, try and watch something that has her because she's so fine. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you, Rohini.
the
Thank you. This was so lovely, and I've been wanting to do a chat with you for so long. So thank you for having me. Thank you, Pentagon. Thank you, Khushbu. And it's so lovely to always see your face, Ro. Thank you. Lots of love.
see you in the real world soon.
Thank you. Take care. Be safe. Bye.
All right, that was Shayani. I hope you enjoyed our chat. In case you're watching us, I am, of course, working from home. This is my fabulous living room. And I want to say I'm very excited to call upon our next guest. Our next guest is somebody who might be able to give me a couple of answers to some really interesting questions. So here goes. I'm going to call upon Tamanna. Tamanna is a psychic. She's a healer. She's also somebody who does a lot of work when it comes to talking about things that people usually have questions about and don't know who to ask. So she's a healer, she's a spiritual therapist, and she might actually know something about the energies of the world at this point, and she might give us an insight into that sort of conversation. So without any further ado, I'd love to call upon Tamanna whenever she's ready. Tamanna, hi and welcome
Hello.
to Time in Quarantine.
Hi, Rohini. So good to finally talk to you.
I'm glad that you're with me, but I'm just waiting for your video to pop up. In the meantime, of course,
Sure.
Let's talk about. Let's start talking actually.
Okay.
Maybe your video will pop up very very soon. All right, there's
Okay.
which is called The Way Ahead.
Hello.
There's a book that you've written called The Way Ahead.
That's right. This was published in 2014.
Correct. Tell us a little bit about what this book is about first.
Okay, so this book is all about my favorite spiritual quotes. I'm also a writer. It's a passion I've been writing ever since I was 12 years old. So I think people in today's day and age are constantly seeking for spiritual answers and seeking for answers that they could implement in your day-to-day life, but they just want to rise above the whole religion, philosophical point of view. They want something which is very practical and something which is very unconditional, which is not ritualistic based or which is not very time consuming. So the book was basically quotes, answers to basic questions that one could really implement on in their day-to-day life by just being aware of their own actions and their intentions. So I call it the magic book because it had answers to anything and everything that was going on in your mind.
Well, that is lovely. Of course, there's a certain skepticism that steps in with being a psychic or a healer. Tamanna, I'd love
That's right.
to know where your because you sound I mean, I can't see you right now, so I'm going to say you sound like someone, you sound like one of us. And I'm sure that there's a skepticism that you might have encountered as well in your journey to then finally becoming a believer. Can I just, before I, go ahead with my question, just check if your video is on. Do you know if your video is on?
My video is actually on. I don't know why.
I'm going to try.
You still can't see me? Just a
I
second.
personally can't see you. I don't know if the universe.
Okay. I don't know about others. Khushbu, can you see me? I'm not sure.
Can you see Tamanna?
Okay.
Can you see Tamanna?
Okay, I don't know why this is because my camera at my end seems to be on, and I can see myself with you,
You can
but
see.
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
I'm looking pretty.
Sorry?
I said, am I looking pretty?
You always look pretty.
Oh my God. I'm such a fisher. All right.
No, but I don't know why, but yeah, let me just.
Maybe I'm the only one who can't see you, and maybe the world can see you. So I'm gonna like continue with my questions. I think I was always wanting to ask.
Okay, I think I'll just reload. So I'll just hang in there. I'll just reload and see if the camera's not loading. Let me just give me a second.
Sure. While Tamanna reloads and comes back, I just want to say this is the first ever chai time in quarantine with Pentagon. And I think Pentagon is doing something really unique, which is doing this marathon, chat interviews. It's a digital show that we've put together, and I'm very excited to be part of it. This is the first ever one, and I get to kickstart it. I'm your tea host, and I've already finished my chai, but I will be allowed to go and have a little chai a session and come back because my friend Charita, she's going to come on at 5 p.m. She runs one of my favorite things on the internet. It's called Not a Movie Review, and it's on the Film Companion page. And you might already be a fan of hers. And if you aren't, you must follow her. And she's somebody who I absolutely love. So she's going to bring on some really fab guests. Gunit Monga, I believe, is going to come on with her. And I can't wait to be somebody who's watching in on that video. So I do hope that you're having a good time. Currently, I'm chatting with psychic, energy healer, and author Tamanna C. She's going to be talking to us about the insights, when it comes to energies and healing, and especially, there you are. Hello.
Oh, finally. Hello. Now the world can see me. Sorry, I think I just had to reload.
No problem. Thank you. So, Tamanna, I was asking you as somebody who, is a lot like us, there is the journey that goes from non-believing to believing. It'd be lovely to share with me how you got started on this path, and was it unbelievable when you told people I want to be a healer or I want to be a psychic? What was the sort of what was your own journey like?
So I started my personal spiritual journey when I was 9. I was initiated to be a psychic when I was about 15. So
Wow.
it's a gift so it's a gift that I carry from birth, and from a very early age, I could see spirits and talk to them, and I could heal people. And because of my mom's very strong spiritual support, I got onto that path extremely early. And back then, I'm talking about 20 years ago, being a psychic or a spiritual therapist was never a career opportunity for someone that young. I wanted to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
And I just got dragged into it because I started writing articles for newspapers on angels and spirit guides. And I spoke about angel therapy very early. This was back in 2009. And that's when I started getting called on by people to come and give talks and do workshops. So when I believe, and I strongly even quote that you can't find your path. When you're ready, your path comes find you. And that's exactly what happened with me. And to answer your question, Rohini, it was very difficult because at 24, you're coming out of the closet and talking to people and telling them, oh, you're a psychic. And they're like, oh, do you do black magic, or is this Jadoo Tona? And, like, how do you talk to spirits, and do they enter your body? And I'm like, no, it's very normal. It's just a gift. It's as good good as some people have a gift of gap, some people have a gift of dancing or music or singing or playing an instrument or even something as basic as cooking. I think we're all gifted.
Yes.
And this is my gift, it comes to me very naturally. So it was very difficult. But I think once people started personally interacting with me, that in itself kind of broke a lot of their myths and superstitions that they had about this industry.
Oh my God. I'm sure, like, I'm a radio jockey. So when people meet me, the first question, and if they don't know me, is that, hey, radio jockey ki tarah baat karke dikhao na. And I'm just like, there is nothing like dikhao na. I am the same person. But, I'm sure when people meet you, they're like, oh, can you predict something for me? And
That's
as cool as I'm going to play it, I'm going to ask you to do one of these just a little bit.
I'm more than happy. But yeah, that's something I've lived with last 12 years in my social space. And earlier, being very polite, being a very naive 24, 25-year-old girl, I would just, start talking and I would give people free advice, which is, which actually kind of started taking a toll on my social life because I stopped enjoying going out and I would just sit at home and but now I've become a lot more, strict. Or I won't say strict, but I've started setting boundaries. So now I'll just very politely dismiss and tell people, this is not the space that I would want to talk about your personal life problems.
Nice.
So let's come back, let's go back to my office and let's talk about it. And this is my alone time. So I think I've become very aware of setting my own professional boundaries, which people also now kind of respect and honor.
That's
So.
amazing. Let's talk about the fact that this is a great time to talk about a reset in the universe. There's a lot of people
Mhm.
talking about the skepticism of when it comes to the virus and do we have enough preparedness, and those are all the sort of the on one side hard facts, right? But what's also,
Mhm.
and I told Shayani the same thing. It's a theme. It's a line that stayed with me. I'm going to share it with you, which is when you can't go outside, you go inside. And
That's right.
real time for all of us to look within and ask ourselves some hard questions about how we've been living our life. But I'm sure somebody who has this sort of deeper understanding of the connect that we have as humanity with the universe, Tamanna, what do you think is the larger picture, and what do you think is that energy message that is going out in the world at this point? I'd love to hear your point of view on this.
So, Rohini, this is going to be, I'm going to explain it in a very practical way. We all believe that we are made of different dimensions or different levels. So, you have your physical body, you have your emotional body, and then you have your energy body. So, I'm going to be talking about the body, mind, soul breakdown here. Now, when we talk about going inside, it's about being with your body. It's about working out. It's about eating right. It's about consuming the right things, getting enough of sleep, and just being still in whatever you do. Our life that we're constantly living is so high paced that even sitting in one corner for 1 hour trying to read a book has just become such a task. And even on my personal Instagram page, I just spoke about it yesterday that we, as per Homo sapiens that we are cavemen by lineage, and what is actually supposed to come to us so basic has just become such a difficult time. I mean, people are taking this lockdown as a punishment, saying, why do we have to sit at home? It's supposed to be so natural for us as cavemen to be sitting in our own cave and enjoying everything that you've earned your money for. People like people kind of work all their life just to build a roof above their head and to enjoy their meal. And now, when you're actually getting that time to enjoy it, you want to run away from it. So, it's a body slowdown where you get to enjoy and nurture everything that you physically accumulated for yourself and for your loved ones. Now, in terms of the mind, we are constantly working on brain or wave energies. We have the beta, alpha, theta, and delta. I'm sure this is something we've all heard of. Now, in terms of a brain wave, the frequency or the speed at what our brain wave is moving, instead of a normal natural state of beta, we are working at a very hyper beta state. And from a hyper beta, we've actually had to slow it down and move into an alpha state, which is alpha state is basically your state when you become a lot more creative and you slow down. You start getting more relaxed in your mind. And that's when creativity kind of starts coming through to you. So, it's honestly, I would say this situation is not difficult at all. It's just very different. And I think people are taking the difference in lifestyle to be difficult. But if you have to give it a thought and sit and think about it, it's just different. So that's why people are kind of slowing down and working on your creative energies. People are taking up activities and hobbies that they would really not get the time to do earlier. So I think it's just kind of helping us slow down and live in an alpha state, which is extremely healthy for all of us on a mind level function.
Well,
Now, coming to the, sorry?
that's a great thing. It's very positive that you said that.
Yeah, and coming to the last but which is your soul self, I think it's time to sit down and prioritize what exactly is important to you. Who are the people who add value to your life? Because I don't think earlier we were living from a space of awareness. We were living from an emotional insecurity of constantly wanting to be a social animal, constantly wanting to be seen everywhere. And, the whole FOMO had kind of taken over. And that emotional need for society approval had taken over all our lives, and not only our personal lives but the lives of our families. We were kind of compromising on a family and downtime because of the whole FOMO virus that was going around in the world before this virus struck. So I think energetically this time for your soul is a good period to slow down and focus on what is important to you and your soul growth, so that you can harness that and work on that even when this lockdown is over. It's extremely important that you are learning so much about yourself.
I think that's a beautiful point. When Tamanna just said that it's not about just these 21 days. It could be more. We don't know. We're just trying to contain the virus at this point. But if we can carry these lessons when we go back into our into our crazy lives once again, remember to pause, remember to breathe, and remember to be grateful for everything that we do have, because it's also an there needs to be a surge of gratitude at the end of this exercise, and
True.
mindfulness, because I think we've been going through our lives, as humanity, really just accumulating, or just spending, or just taking those flights when or making meetings happen, taking those cabs, when it could have just been a phone call, or an email. So I think it's chance for us to be a little more mindful. I just want to go through the chat because Sakina says such a refreshing session. Just wanted to say a big thank you for putting up this live session and sharing her knowledge with us viewers. Tamanna is such an enduring personality. I'm so glad to come across her Insta page and enrich myself with her wisdom. Lots of love and more power to your girls. That's amazing. So thank you, Tamanna.
Thank you. Thank you, Sakina.
I mean, Tamanna, it's a very interesting question that I have, which is, they say that China had the case of the highest number of divorces because of lockdowns, because people actually realized, that they can't stay inside the same room with their partners. I
Mhm.
would love for you, because you have a deeper understanding when it comes to people and energies and relationships. Do you have any sort of advice for couples, or who are in a close space with each other?
So I think the only advice that I would give to couples who kind of lock down during this period is set boundaries and honor the boundaries of your partner. While you all are coming together as a collective unit, as a family, and everyone's got their own responsibilities. Don't act clingy, share responsibilities, but also give your partner the space to breathe, give them the space to grow, give them the space to make the most out of it, rather than questioning their intentions towards yourself or allowing your own insecurities to get the better of you or your relationship. So it's very important to kind of have the right kind of balance of sharing responsibilities, bond over doing that, but also allow your partner to kind of retrieve into their personal space to pick up an activity or do something that they want to do with their own alone time. So I think setting boundaries and respecting each other's boundaries and the need for their alone time is the best tip I could possibly give the couples listening to this.
I know a few friends of mine who have their own ways, and they may not be professional healers, but there are some rituals that people do. Like, for example, when I come back home today, they say you must wash your hands and feet. But my mom always says this to me, that when you come home, you must wash your hands and feet, because she may not say it to me directly, but I know it's also about resetting that energy. I live near the ocean, so
Yeah.
I go towards the sea, just for my walk, which I miss a lot right now. I feel that my energies get reset. Is there anything that we can, do, which is, probably not too personal for everybody, but something that anyone can do to kind of feel that their energies are either cleansed or renewed at a point like this, especially when it comes to, when you're having a bad mood or when you're feeling a little low, Tamanna? It'll be amazing if you can give us a hack that we could all practice, and it's also good for everybody. You think you'll be able to tell us something like that?
Of course, sure, Rohini. So let's understand why is there a need to do this in the first place? Because you've been enclosed in a house atmosphere and you're constantly right now because the world is just so anxious and we are constantly kind of going through a lot of insecurities, worries. We are expelling that into the energy outside of us, which somewhere is kind of getting blocked in your entire house atmosphere. It's affecting your family, it's affecting your kids, because all the energy cleansing that you're doing, all the meditation that you're doing, all the healing or inner work that you're doing right now, people's businesses have come to a standstill. People are anxious and worried or insecure about their own personal health and well-being. So while you're kind of going through that, you're releasing all of this negativity in your immediate space, which is your home space.
Yeah.
So it's very important to keep clearing that. Now, my personal hack would be either you burn a sage or burn a candle, burn camphor, just to kind of air out the whole space, because sage is an amazing energy cleanser, and it's very easily available on Amazon. I don't know whether you're actually going to get it delivered right now, but even something as basic as a camphor, or just lighting a diya or a candle or incense sticks will work.
Yeah.
Just work with whatever that's available at home. 9/11 situation, the world had come to a complete lockdown. Everyone there was a lot of fear, insecurities, anxiety. The financial markets had crashed. There was border